Hello everybody, this is Devin with HDpiano.com, and in today's lesson we're going to be learning Something, one of my favorite Beatles tunes written by George Harrison. I'll be showing you the verse in this video, which looks something like this. 1, 2, 3, and da-da-da-da. All right, what a wonderful piece. The harmony, the melody, it's amazing. I'm so excited to be teaching this one. And we're going to get through that much in this video, which will work for the first, second, and final verse. But over at HDpiano.com, we'll learn the rest. That's the bridge, the guitar solo, which I've arranged for piano, as well as a melody version. So putting the melody in the right hand and self-accompanying in the left. So there's a lot more in store, and I am pumped. It's such a wonderful tune. Did I say that already? Anyways, before I dive in, I got a question for you guys, which is, what is your favorite Beatles song? Please comment below. There are hundreds to choose from, and unfortunately, I wish we could teach them all here at HDpiano.com, but currently it's a little difficult for us to teach Lennon and McCartney songs. We don't quite have the rights to, license their music for these tutorials, so this is an exception because it's written by George Harrison, but hopefully one of these days we'll be able to make it happen. And if any of you guys know Paul McCartney, be like, hey man, ever heard of HDpiano? They're pretty cool. You should let them teach your songs. All right, well, that's that little spiel. Let's get started. So tell me your favorite Beatles tune, and we'll go from there. All right. Well, we're in the key of C major. Let's learn this first measure, and then we'll dive into really talking about the harmony, because there's a lot of patterns in here that will help make this song, help cement this song in your fingers nice and quick. All right, so the first measure, we start on F in our left. And ultimately, we've got these four notes on our right, C, F, A, and C. This is an F chord, and in the key of C, that's the 4 chord. So we start on the 4 chord, and we do this pattern in our right, and 2, and. So we take C and A, and then we switch to F and C, and then we switch back to C and A. So 1, and 2, and this is middle C, by the way. E flat major, octave E flats in the left, B flat, E flat, G, and B flat in the right. And then that resolves nicely to G over D. This is B, D, G, B in the right over D in the left. Now G is the 5th of C, so the 5th of anything is going to resolve nicely. 5, 1. But when we put a D in the bass, it just makes it a little bit more ambiguous, but still gives us that sense of arrival. So F and 2 and E flat, G over D, and we land on C major. Octave C's in the left, C, E, G, C in the right. Now we're going to let go of the left hand here for a minute. We'll come back to Paul McCartney's beautiful bass line in a little bit. And let's just look at what's going on the right here. So we have C major, and we're going to hit our first chord with this C on top, but then we're going to just go back to our root position triad, C, E, G. And we're going to go between our thumb and the top 2 notes. So we start with the top 2. Now we're going to take that C down to B. Now we're going to take that B down to B flat. All right, so the first 3 measures, our thumb is the only note that's changing. And so we call this a line cliche, where you use harmony to create kind of like these interior melodies. So C major, root position, just a basic triad, becomes C major 7. All right, so we bring that root down to the 7th, which becomes C dominant 7th, which is B flat. And C dominant 7th conveniently resolves to F major. It's the 5 chord of F, which is the 4 chord in the key of C. That's a mouthful. And we land here with A, C, and F. And the pattern continues. And then on beat 4, just a quick C chord here, C over E in the bass. So that's second inversion of C, G, C, E. So F, 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 C over E to D7, which is A, C, and F sharp. All right, this pattern continues for this measure. And we get to G, and we'll stop there. B and G on top, and G on bottom. All right, so let's play through those 5 measures once more, just the right hand. 3 and 4. You know what? I'll introduce a very simple left hand part just to demonstrate the harmony. And this would be a great place to start for those of you that are, more beginners and can't quite get the independence with playing the Paul McCartney bass line in the left hand. You can just hold whole notes like this. C root position becomes C major 7, becomes C dominant 7th, which leads us into F. Walk it down to D7 to G. All right, so we've got 5 measures down, and we're gonna abandon the right hand for now. Hopefully you picked up on that pattern and see just how intuitive it is, I guess. Now let's look at the left hand. All right, so we're only using notes from the C major scale. And we basically have a whole nother melody in the bass line. And that was something that was so special, that is so special about Paul McCartney's bass playing. So we start with octave Cs, and then 2 E and a 2 E and a 3 and 4 and 1. Now measure 2, we land on a G. So technically, we could call this a C major 7 over G or E minor over G, but we are predominantly hanging out on G in measure 2. So we go from G to E and a 3 and 4 and back to C. All right, so those 2 measures, 1 and 2 E and a 3 and E, F, G, 2, G, A, G, down to C. All right, now moving on, we land on our C, 1 and 2 and more C's up top, and then we walk up to F, 3 and 4 and 1. So that was C, D, E, F. F, G, F octaves, E octaves, D octaves. All right, one more measure to go, and we can put the hands back together. So we land on D7, 1 and 2 E and a 3 and 4 and. So that's D, and then up high, D, 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 F sharp, A, G. All right, let's see if we can put our hands together. Here we go. Nice and slow. 2 and 3 and 4. Right hand goes to B. Right hand goes to B flat, and 4 and F. All right, so we've landed on this G chord. I think we're good on those 5 measures, so it's time to move on. I just wanted to point out one thing on that F chord. Really bring out beats 3 and 4. That's where we hear that really strong down, down, down from the guitar. Just wanted to point that out. Now, moving on to the G chord. Here's where we kind of depart from the pattern, and we have this. All right, so that's G major, G in the left, G, B, and G in the right, A minor 7, A in the left, G, C, G in the right, and then G7 over B. Just a half note. B and F, G, D, G. Now that F kind of sticks out like a sore thumb, so if you want to take that out and simplify, you can just play this. But I think you can kind of hear the F in there somewhere. All right, so that's... So the left hand goes 1 E and a 2 E and a 3, 4. The right hand starts off with our usual pattern, 1 and then we play 16ths, C, G, C, G. And then we land on G, D, G with our left hand. So 1 and 2 E So up until now, we're doing kind of this hybrid arrangement of more or less what the guitar is playing. You can hear it kind of doing this thing, and Paul's bass line. And now we're going to actually play what is a keyboard part, which is what we hear on the organ on this A minor bit. Nice and staccato. All right, so what's going on there? Well, we have another line cliche, believe it or not, this time in a minor key. So A minor is our relative minor, and we have not root position, not first inversion, but second inversion. And our middle note is the root, which is going to be doing the clichéing, or the descending. All right, so we play E and C on the outside, and they remain the same. And our middle note goes from A to G sharp to G, and then we play D7. So that's D and F sharp with C on top. All right, and here's, one of the most iconic Beatles bass lines. It's great. And it's all just coming from the C major scale, except for one little passing tone in there. So A, E, F, E, D, C, B, A, G, G sharp, A, D, E, F. All right, then we more or less repeat the first measure. So if we put our hands together, we get this. Nice and slow. 3 and 4. All right, and there is one point in the song where he gets a little crazier on the A minor. The second one here, he goes quickly, kind of goes down. Dum, 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 dum. So you're welcome to use that if you'd like. And so you notice the bass line is just kind of helping to accent the harmony here. Instead of staying on A, we're making this more like an E augmented chord, and then A minor 7 and D7. Then we're going to walk up to F. And the only difference there is this walk down on B2. F, F, E, D, C. And then we have the same way we started. All right, so there you have it. That's the whole verse broken down, and I'm just going to play through it one more time, nice and slow, so you guys can play along. And hopefully I see you over at HDpiano after that to learn the rest. I'm really looking forward to it. All right, from the top, 2 and 3. Rather, 3 and 4. Here we go. All right, great work, my friends. There you have it, the verse of Something by the Beatles, written by George Harrison. My name is Devin, and I hope to see you over at hdpiano.com for the rest. But while I have you here, please like and subscribe on YouTube and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter so you can know about all of our upcoming lessons. We'll see you guys soon.